Ben Johnson is reportedly now the favorite to land the Chicago Bears coaching job. It'll change between now and when the actual coach is hired because we're going to have like 15 articles on the new favorite. But me and C-Dub are going to break that down. Plus, we're going to talk about how the draft is shaping up with offensive line talent and how should the Bears balance veterans and rookies as far as going out and fixing this offensive line. All that plus Caleb Williams and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize. We're joined by C-Dub as well. We in the building. First of all, it's rare that it's just me and you, C-Dub. We started off the new year with some new shit. Y'all should appreciate that.
No, that's how we doing it, baby. Get ready.
But Dub, man, I know you're following it as well, man. There's every day there's a new guy who's the favorite to land the Chicago Bears coaching head coaching role. Of course, it came out a couple of days ago that Ben Johnson is very intrigued by the role. He wants the job, but they reported that he's not going to beg for the job, and he needs some assurances when it comes down to it as well. Tom Pellericcio, I believe how you pronounce his name, he said the job that comes up more than any other job within the division is the Chicago Bears. I'm told that Ben Johnson is intrigued by the job, and when it comes to his time to interview, which the cadence of that is going to depend on whether or not the Lions have a bye or he is going to listen. So it seems like that if the Lions may have a bye, that at least is he going to interview in between the bye week? We have seen coaches interview even while in the midst of a playoff in a playoff run. I'm not too worried about that. I just think whenever the season officially ends for the Lions or whatever else, the Bears need to be on that phone. But what do you think now, latest, Ben Johnson now being the favorite?
I just think that Happy New Year's to everybody, of course. I think that Ben Johnson is just embracing being the highest commodity in the offseason when it comes to regarding the head coaching spot. He's the most wanted. It seems like that he knows that, and he's going to use every resource that he can to get the best deal that he could get. And the Chicago Bears, it'll be at their behest if they really want this guy. I have my own red flags on the guy, me myself, but as an organization, if you want this guy, I think you need to be the first in line when they say we're allowing this guy, because I assume that the Detroit Lions would allow him to have some interviews. I mean, that's just courteous that teams do for their coaches when they want them to succeed. I think the Bears should be the first to give the interview. They should come with their best performance to get this guy if you really want them. But that's not particularly my choice. But if you really want this guy, you should bring out all the bells and whistles that you can to convince this guy this is the place.
Yeah, and I think that this is shaping up, and I think most people expected this. Like the Bears, it's not just these coaches coming in to sell the Bears on things. They're going to have to do that. Make no mistake about it. They're going to have to sell them on their vision for what to do with this offense, what to do with the quarterback, how they're going to lead the team, what they want to fix. But the Bears are also going to have to sell these head coaches on their commitment to making the right decisions and investing in what's going to need to be invested to fix this team. Let me ask you this. So I talked a little bit about this solo, but it'd be good to bounce this off of you. We've heard now that Ben Johnson could want $15 million. We've heard now that he could want a little bit more say than what's initially expected. At what point is it too much for a rookie head coach to potentially be asking for all these things? Are you at the point where if the Bears are convinced that he's the guy, you do what it takes to get him, even if that does mean maybe giving him a little bit more control than what normal rookie head coaches have?
That's an excellent question, and I'm gonna answer that two ways. My personal answer would be that's a little bit too much for a rookie coach who hasn't coached a football team to be asking for things like $15 million per year and extra power in the organization. Who the hell you think you are? But the Chicago Bears are in a pretty fantastic, not a fantastic position, but in a crazy position where they really are kind of like desperate to get that guy. And if they thinking that Ben Johnson is that guy that can take them to the next level, I think they need to appease to most of, not all, or concess to anything that he wants. If it's like that, I don't think it's like that. I mean, he hasn't coached a football team. He hasn't coached a 50 some odd plus men involved team yet. So it's up to the Chicago Bears. I think they are feeling the desperation that could cause them to make a move, like give him $15 million a year and giving them a little bit more power than a regular coach would be in Chicago Bears. But I'm a little skeptical to that if
Let me
they
ask you
going
this
that route.
question.
A little
Rather than the
skeptical.
money, right? Let's say that maybe it isn't the 15 million. Would you give Ben Johnson like a 5 or 6 year deal to give him that security as the head coach that he's going to have that time to turn this team around? Now, typically you see the Bears sign coaches to 3-4 year deals, but if it came time to like a 6 year deal, would you be willing to give him that just so you give him that security of saying, hey, listen, I mean, we could always renegotiate a contract if you have success and even give you more money, but at least you're going to be here 6 years. You're going to get 6 years to see what you can do with this. Would you give him that type of security?
I think that is an awful contract for the Bears to give
It's
a
6 years.
first-time head
Okay.
coach, is a 6-year contract. I think it's awful. Like, we don't you can look at his past history as an offensive coordinator, especially this year with the Detroit Lions, be like, wow, that's fantastic and spectacular. But still, he has not head coached a 50 some odd plus men roster. We have to show improve before you deserve a six. I don't even know if it's any coaches in the league with a 6-year contract. So no, that's you just can't put your franchise behind the burner like that with 6 years. What if he's awful? What if he's worse than Matt Eberflus and Matt Nagy? Because I thought we couldn't get worse than Lukey Dookie,
Bro,
and we
that
got
that's
worse
that
than
that
Lukey
is
Dookie with Matt.
uniquely the fact that we did get worse than
That's
than Luke Getzey is crazy, bro.
we
We
did
did know
though,
you're
Drew.
right.
We
I'm
did.
not saying you crazy for saying it. I'm saying it's crazy because it's facts. That's what I'm worried about. It's like, how did we get here? Like, that's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, 6 years is for a rookie.
You,
No,
you know what's
that's
funny? And I thought about
unprecedented.
this yesterday. When we hired our offensive staff, right? I said, well, it looks like the Bears may be setting themselves up to have a succession plan years down the road. Because I was like, if Matt Eberflus doesn't work out, maybe Shane Waldron does work out. Then you have Thomas Brown take over.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, I see what they could be doing. Little did I know the succession plan would happen in 6 months. We saw it like in 6 months.
Two
I'm thinking
times
like, oh, this,
over,
this
Drew.
could be a
Two times
2 year
over.
succession plan type thing. 6 months, bro.
Yeah,
It happened all in 6 months.
bro. They had to break the glass drip. They had to break the glass within 6 months, and the thing didn't work. It didn't put the fire out.
That's
So they
crazy,
gotta go
bro.
get them another fire
That's
extinguisher, bro. Thomas didn't
that's
work or Shane.
crazy,
So
bro. That's wild, bro.
building burnt
Yeah.
down.
Break glass in case of emergency, and it still not work. That's crazy.
It
Let
burnt
me
itself
ask you
down.
this, man. Switching into the next topic, man. A lot of us we understand outside of the coach, the next biggest thing that kind of has to happen is the offensive line. I think everybody agrees you got to get that
Have to.
offensive line in a place that's really good. Brad Biggs came out and talked about the draft a little bit, and he said this: it's shaping up to be a better offensive line class than we originally expected, but it's still not what it was last year. There's not any real slam dunk top half of the first round players. A lot of the guys in this class on the line are day 2 graded players. Now, I've already started my draft coverage. I do think that in the first 10 to 12 picks, you're probably going to see about 5 offensive linemen go. But with Brad Biggs saying and pointing out the fact that a lot of the talent, like basically there's not a lot of separation between offensive linemen that can go in the first round versus the second round. The Bears do have right now the 37th pick and the 40th pick. And then in the third round, they have the 70 first overall pick. Let me ask you this. The Bears do have a first round pick. Do you think that they have to go after one of those blue chippers? Or do you think that if you evaluate those guys, you can focus on it in the second round, maybe go a different position in the first round, and then overall with that offensive line, veterans versus young guys? How do you want to see that balance happen, C-Dub?
Oh, that's another great question. First of all, in those first rounds, I think you need to address the most needed problem in the Chicago Bears for the last couple years, and that's been the offensive line. We've neglected to give it the full attention that it needed, and I think this draft, we cannot fuck around and try to go for no blue chippers. Or you probably see Genty out there. I don't care if you see Cam, whatever you see out there, you gotta address the need of the team that has been lacking for these years. Now, the second part of your question, what was it?
Veterans
I wanted
versus
to
young
get into
guys,
that.
draft
The
draft
second
picks
part,
for the
veterans versus yeah, yeah, veterans versus young guys. Okay, I really want mostly young
Mhm.
guys, but to address the problems, we must put our personal wants uh away for the need of the team. So I'm looking at a combination of the free agency in the draft. We have to get this shit situated, bro. We cannot go another free agency, another draft without addressing this issue. We've been blinded by the weapons and the toys that we had at the skill positions, and we cannot do that again. We must, I don't care if it's old guys, young guys, as long as they're competent offensive linemen. We just sent the first pick of the NFL draft out on the field to get tackled the most, to get sacked the most in the NFL.
Again,
That is not fair to
again,
him.
like we did it again.
Again. That is not fair to him. That's not fair to us. And it's a shame that if they go out in his second year, they do not put the utmost attention on this offensive line, and they shove that kid out there on the field again with this bullshit. If I was him, I would quit. I'm not going out there and said getting sacked 70
Yeah, bro.
times,
Well, we're gonna
bro.
talk a little bit
Yeah,
because
come
there's a
on, bro.
growing community of Bears fans that are saying just go ahead and send them against Green Bay. But I kind of want them out there, but I can understand where they're coming from with that. Let me get back into this draft conversation. I want to ask you a specific scenario here. So, first round,
Yeah.
right now, the Bears will be selecting number 9 overall. Right? There's a lot of good edges in there. Because there's a lot of really good day 2 talent on the offensive line. Do you draft the edge? Do you trade back and maybe draft a offensive lineman later in that first round? Or would you want to see, because there's some really good edges as well. We know we got to address the trenches on both sides. Jalon Walker, Abdul Carter, James Pierce out of Tennessee. There's some really good edges in this draft. Do you go edge in the first round and then use your 2 second-round picks on offensive line? Do you trade back and still get an offensive lineman in the first round, pick up some more assets? Where are you at with this first round pick? Is it offensive line no matter what? Or if it's a edge there that can be Montez Sweat's partner, do you do that?
I think you just cannot get away from what the number one goal is to fix this
Okay.
offensive line. So with that first pick, is you see the best offensive lineman there with the first pick. If you don't see him, you trade down. I don't know what you do, but you do not bring in another sparkly toy to get our minds off the fucking mission. And our mission is to fix the offensive line. If you grab a defensive lineman in the first round, just prepare for the backlash. Just prepare for the backlash, because we have a
Yeah.
problem, a big problem is glaring that we must fix. And anything other than trying to fix this problem will be bullshit in my eyes. So whatever you have to do, don't go in that first round picking no defensive ends and nothing like that. We gotta fix the offensive trenches. Do not divert our attention again. Don't do it.
Let me ask you. Okay, let me throw another scenario out here because I get where you're getting at, but free agency does happen before the draft. So let's say the Bears sign a veteran center, because if we go veteran on the offensive line, I want a veteran center to snap the ball, and not just technically we had a veteran center. I don't mean just any guy who's been in the NFL. I mean a starting caliber veteran center piece. That's what I want for Caleb Williams. That's what I want for
Yep.
I'm fine with Darnell Wright and a bunch of other young guys at that point in time. Let's say they go out there and they get that veteran. It's going to cost some money. Center for the Chicago Bears. At that point, does that give you a little more leeway as far as going edge and then using your 2 second-round picks? You still you think regardless, first round pick got to be an offensive lineman.
It gotta. I'm just gonna have to say, be stiff as a board. Pause early in the morning. I'm not moving.
Bro, you
We
can't
have
say
to stay
stiff
the
as a
course.
board
We cannot.
early in the morning. You just said morning wood without saying morning wood, bro.
I said pause, bro. Well, I'm not moving, bro. We cannot trip. We can't. We get all these sparkly little things, and it just gets us off mission.
But edge is
Drip.
it's
We
not like edge isn't a
do
need
that.
too, though, bro. It's not like it's a punter. Punter's
It's a need,
punter's a spark.
wait.
Edge is a need.
All right, let me ask you. You like Austin
I do like
Booker?
Austin Booker. Yeah.
You like Austin Booker, right? You think Austin Booker, he's gonna be better
I
next
believe
year.
so.
I think he's gonna be better. So with the amount of snaps he took, I think it's been slight. I don't think he took a lot of snaps. He will be basically a rookie next year. Next year. So I don't think we need to draft a defensive lineman because I'm basically counting Austin Booker as a redshirt freshman next season for the Chicago Bears. So we cannot stray off the mission Bears.
And we're going to draft the running. We're going to draft the running back in the first round, and we're going to be live on the draft. And C-Dub's going to lose his shit.
I'm gonna lose it, bro. I'm gonna lose it. We cannot drip. We can't do it. I'm campaigning. This is my campaign. All offensive linemen until we get all, because we keep it. I'm only cool with Darnell Wright. All 4 spots need to be filled either by free agency or them first couple rounds of draft before we draft other positions. That's just me. That's what I'm campaigning.
All right. I'm not gonna try to sell you anything. I just wanted to pick your brain. I'm not mad at it. I think. Listen, I'm not mad at it. I whatever the Bears need to do to address it heavily, that's the most important thing. And I think that's like we got to get shit addressed. And so that is however they address it, whatever they do, that's the important thing. We got to see what we're gonna be able to pull out of that. What's up, son?
Yeah.
Okay, go eat one. You don't have to come ask me to eat something I got for you. Go eat it. Yeah.
What a well-mannered son. That's well-mannered. I like it.
All right, last topic of the day, man. Caleb Williams, his rookie season. We only got one more game, so we'll hold off on like a full evaluation of Caleb Williams' rookie season. Ain't no point in doing it with one game left. But what do we want to see from him against Green Bay? Or do you, like I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of Bears fans right now saying, go ahead and sit Caleb the last game against Green Bay. Let's not risk it. Where do you sit on that?
I sit on let him play. I think this kid got a couple goals that he probably want to get over. He probably want to pass that 3,500 yard threshold. He's far away. He's probably about 300 yards away.
He's right now he sits at 3,393 yards away. So he's 107 yards away from him.
Yeah. Oh, he's right there. So I want him to play. I want to get him the experience playing against those cheese fuckers up there in Wisconsin. I want him to get the opportunity. He's a competitor, and I also want him to bounce back from that ugly game last week. That was the worst body language I've seen from Caleb Williams all season. And there's been some occurrences where his body language has been bad. He looked kind of defeated. I definitely want to see how he reacts to a look that I looked, and I thought that he looked defeated on the sidelines. I don't like that my players to look defeated on the sidelines. So that's the number one reason I want to see him on in the last game. 2, they were close to beating Green Bay last game, man. If it wasn't for the blunders of the coach. Let's see if we could go ahead and it won't matter anything to the Green Bay Packers that go into the playoffs. Maybe I don't know if it has anything to do with their positioning in a playoff tree, but to give them a chance to beat the Green Bay Packers. If it gets ugly early, just to snatch them out and put in the Bagent guy. but I want to see him at least get the start out there. Let's
Yeah,
see what he
I
can do.
think you don't want to take away from the competitive nature that Caleb Williams has and telling him, hey, go ahead and sit. Like I get you want to protect him, make no mistake about that. And I would say this: if on the opening drive he gets sacked 2 times, sit his ass down.
Yeah,
That's
I'm with
what
that.
like if
100%.
it looks ugly, whereas like on the opening drive of the game, shit starts looking crazy. All right, that's different. All right, let's change some shit up at that point. Let's sit his ass down. But I think you want to give him a chance to come out there and compete. I think you want to give him that opportunity. And yeah, and I don't even look at this point, he's broken just about every Bears rookie quarterback record. I don't care about the stats of it. I just care about like you have somebody that wants to compete, and we know that as a Bears team, we haven't necessarily had the best competitive nature over the last few weeks. I don't want to
Yeah.
mess that up. So I want to see this continue and just give him an opportunity. Like I said, if it looks ugly out there and like the Packers are trying to make a point and they killing them, and your offensive line ain't protecting them, you can make that decision in game to be like, hey, bro, we're just gonna go ahead and sit you. Let's give Bajan the opportunity. And or if the Packers get out to a huge lead early as well. Like there's a couple of different scenarios in that, but I think you want to go into the game plan, go into that game, give them that opportunity, and let's just see where the chips fall at that point.
That's absolutely 100% correct. And you'll know early, like the first quarter, if
Yeah,
he's going to play the whole game or not, bro. Because he'd probably be sacked like 2 to 3 times already in the first quarter.
bro, he's
Shit,
gonna end the
first
season with
drive
70
and shit.
sacks, bro. And I'm just gonna be like,
Yeah, that's so fucking embarrassing, bro. And it's our fault too, Drip. Drip, we gotta take accountability, Drip. Because every year we get these shiny ass toys. I've been pumping it all show. I'm gonna keep pumping it. We get shiny ass toys, and we be like, damn, fuck that offensive line, or we just forget about it. And then we go to the next year and we get all these toys. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift. How good have them toys been this year, by the way? We'll get to that in later shows. But we
bro,
get that and we get
I'm
fucking
I'm, I'm gonna
blinded.
be 100, and not that Deion, and it's not all on DeAndre Swift. He's a running back that needs an offensive line. I think we could see a much better season from DeAndre Swift next year if we improve the offensive line. But at this point, you spent that money. That money could have went on all. Like we could have just kept Khalil.
Yeah, I hate to go back and be like, yeah, because I was like, get
Yeah.
him out of here. But now I kind of see what the formula is, Drip. The formula is DeAndre he needs to be in a supporting role, or it needs to be a
Well,
dual
yeah,
role in
and
the
that's why I
running
do
back room.
think that
Like,
the Bears could go running back later in the draft. And I mean, you can go in the 5th round and get a starting
I'm not
caliber. It's
opposed
just
to
you
that.
got a lot of things you need to figure out before then. But DeAndre needs a running back mate that has a different style than him to be the most effective. You
Yes,
need to have that bruiser
absolutely.
that can abuse the offensive line. I mean, the defensive line with an offensive line that can block as well. And then, like I said, I think that there's a really good chance we get an even better season from DeAndre Swift next season. But Bears, again, it goes all back to that same thing that you've been pushing. You got to get that offensive line together. You just have to.
Yeah. Yeah, and DeAndre Swift, remember the 4-2 when we was 4-2, Drip, and Rojo was taking like probably close to
Yeah.
half of those snaps. That's when he was really successful, breaking out big runs, getting swing passes, screen passes to the house. It's the formula is set. He needs somebody, and Rojo went
Yeah.
on injury for a
Concussion.
long time too, and that's why
Yeah.
you seen
And
the
that's,
fall off.
bro,
So
that's going to be an episode that we got to talk about after the season because the Bears need concussion insurance for
yeah.
like 4 players, bro. Like,
Oh yes,
it's
bro.
really
My
unfortunate,
goodness.
bro. Yeah.
Jaquan, Rojo, y'all gotta wear them funny helmets, bro. Y'all gotta wear them, bro.
Any last thoughts, Doug, before we get up out of here, man?
Yeah, I'm happy another year with my brother Drip, man. Happy 2025 to everybody. We going to great lengths this year, man. Let's get it, man. I hope everybody had a safe and a beautiful and a family loving New Year's Eve, bro.
Absolutely,
Let's keep
absolutely. And
moving, man.
I say I'm trying to clean up the show. I was about to make a joke. I'll tell you after we
Look
get
at
done
look at
recording.
this.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys are following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Chi-Town up, bear down, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.